Well, friends, I had this Nikon Aculon T01. It was primarily purchased for the purpose of bird watching and general observation while traveling, because this obviously has a very small size, is pocket friendly both economically and ergonomically. So it it gave very astounding results. It was a very wonderful device. But somehow recently what I've realized is it suddenly stopped focusing. First, this arm stopped functioning, and I was, rather than a binocular, it was working as a monocular. This is the focusing ring, which was first only impacted this one, and very recently even this one stopped functioning, and the lenses, they were pushed deep inside and they would not move from their position. That is, when the focusing ring was moved, they were not moving around, thereby not giving any focusing. Hence, I was looking forward to finding a solution. There was this I tried to somehow figure out how to rectify that, and the first thing I did was started working on this ring so as to see whether this is missing the moving potential, but then it wasn't so. It was working very well. There was a sticker, a small metallic sticker here, which has been removed and I've misplaced it. But otherwise, then I tried finding on the YouTube the ways to disassemble and rectify this, but I was quite disappointed. There was no such video available on the YouTube that could give me how to open this instrument, forget about rectifying it. So I tried my own ways out with the risk of losing or destroying this completely, and fortunately I came across with a way through which I could figure out what exactly is wrong with this. So for the benefit of the masses, I shall be showing you, demonstrating how to open this equipment. I've done it once or twice, so I'm quite aware, and now I shall be revealing it to you. So first, once again, I'll just like to make you aware about the device. This is how it is flexibly controlled. This is the objective lens. This is the eyepiece, which can be arranged for eye relief. Here is a diopter adjuster. This is the focusing ring, which you move clockwise or counterclockwise so as to get the picture in focus. You don't see any screws right on the surface anywhere, so it's quite smooth and it's very sturdy. I must say, it's a very beautiful device, and I was very impressed by the way it functioned. Now I'll show how I was able to open it. All I required was a basic kit for basic screwdriver kit, though we won't require most of these equipments. The only thing that I needed was a flathead screwdriver, which we shall be using to pry open the covering system. I was quite afraid of breaking the small clicking parts here, but somehow it's alright. So the first thing I did was, you should do is remove this eye cover. It's a rubber thing, it comes out pretty easily without any damage. Keep them aside. Thereafter, well, these are initially stuck to this body by means of some glue, so you don't have to bother about this thing. This will be removed. Then, yes, you need a 4-point driver also. I think this will work. I hope this is visible. The 4-point driver, which shall be applicable to open this screw. So let me open that. There it comes out. A remarkable feature of this knob is a rectangular piece here, a rectangular cut over here. This cut provides the grip to the focusing axle. We shall come to that later at appropriate time. Once that is done, I change over the screwdriver to the flathead screw. It should be a little broad so as to not be very sharp. Thereafter, you see this little space, just pry it open. Since it has been opened once, so it's easy to pluck out, but otherwise it is generally stuck to the inside this metallic tube. This is all high quality plastic. You can feel its sturdiness. It is pasted on this metallic body at various points. So this will initially provide, when you're opening it for the first time, you'll find a little bit of resistance. So be a little careful so as to not break or distort this plastic sheet. Then move on to the other side and remove this as well. These two, put them aside. Come to the other side. Again, pry open. It will be easier now. Yeah. And you remove this. It comes out in one piece. Then you move to the other side and remove this. A small hemispherical plastic piece is also adjusted somewhere at the top side. So this is, I'll put them in one place. You are left with, okay, I'll pull this thing later on. Now you are left with something like this, the basic functioning unit without its lucrative outside plastic cover. Now what you require is, you need to, what happened in my case was that when you move this knob here, there is an axle, a continuous plastic piece which you see here is moving. This axle is lodged up in a device further up which has the appropriate pith headed groove which fits over this particular axle, and as it moves, this thing slides in or away from the point, from the outer point. So when we move it this way, it's moving towards the closing side, so this will go up, and when we move it counterclockwise, it goes further away. Now it is bound to go further away because there are these two arms which are connected to the objective lens here, the objective assembly unit. I'll bring them out as well. Once you have removed the cover, you see there is a outer ring, protective ring on both the sides. You remove them gently. This is a piece which has been broken down. Okay. Here onwards you come across the assembly of prisms. There is an assembly of prisms inside which can be removed by opening these screws. You can also further open up this assembly, the eyepiece assembly. I'm removing that. Be careful so as to not scratch the lens when you put it somewhere. 1, 2. This is the eyepiece with the diopter adjuster, and this is a simple one. Now this is the prism assembly, which is obviously only held in place by means of 3 screws here. 3 screws. You can remove these screws to get this out and clean it as well. But I would recommend there's no need for doing that. When you remove this knob, this axle also is liberated. Now this is the part which I realized was broken and causing disturbance to the focusing. Let us try to understand the functioning of this unit. So to see that, it's like this. Let me explain it this way. This is one lens assembly with the lens and everything here. You can in fact see the lens. It's a thick one. I'm using my bare hands. I'll clean the lens later. So this is one lens, and then there is this hollow space. This lens sits gently here and is put firmly in place with the help of a, I don't know what they call it, but I would simply say it has a sealing ring. Then this unit, it's like this. This unit is arranged such. I hope you can see this. It's like, if you see this ring, it's this axle, it's a plastic piece with a squarish head on top with a groove for a tightening screw, followed by a circular pitch which prevents it from coming out of this place, this hollow groove, followed by a small simple unfragmented or unmarked axle. Again another ring-like sealant which further helps in keeping this piece stable at this point here. Okay, see it this way. This fellow goes in here, comes out from here where this knob with its square head puts it firmly in place, and with the movement of the knob this thing also moves. You see that? Okay, I'll get it out. On this end, if you can see closely, on this end there is a pitch of, I don't know what is the dimension. There is a well grooved pitch for the closing or separating the moving part, which is this. Now this is connected. This is an individual unit about this long, and it gets through with this groove, wherein it firmly sits and moves freely, coaxially. And obviously you can understand that when let me move it, okay, this way, when this thing moves, obviously the grooves will pull it in and when it moves out, the grooves will push this unit away. So what is happening is, when it is, okay, one more thing before I venture. This objective unit is connected to this piece, such, like this, and on the these things are separated, and one arm sits over here. So these two arms, they sit together. This is how it should be, but since it's broken, I cannot keep it that way. This is one unit, and then there is another unit. These two units are stuck in place like this, and hence they form something which resembles like this. Imagine this groove coming out of here. When it moves, since this axle is locked at the top and bottom parts, it can only move along its axis, but this particular portion, since it has grooves that fit very perfectly here, they move along the pitch, in or away from towards or away from the eyepiece, and thereby increase or decrease the distance between the objective and the eyepieces and bring the object in focus. Now this is the unit that I find broken in my instrument. I am unable to find a replacement. I need to replace this whole piece of plastic, and I also need to get these two things firmly attached. Once that is done, I will be able to put it back in here and thereafter arrange it as it is, and I hope it will become functional. Now the next challenge before me is creating a piece of similar dimensions and design. Thickness won't be of that grave issue as long as it passes through this, and I need to find a way out to stick these two pieces together firmly so that they don't break off easily. I'm planning to glue them together with some araldite sort of very firm adhesive, and also provide a bit of heat treatment. I'll slightly melt it so as to get a very firm connection, this and then this unit, so that these two units can come together like this and become a single unit. As far as this is concerned, I'm trying to find a way out to solve it, maybe with another similar plastic piece. I'll try to work on that. In case it's not possible, then I'll try to make it in wood and see how far it can go. So now I'll do the reassembly. First is, I take this and push it through here. There it comes. One more thing, this entire place is quite greasy. That provides a lubrication for the whole assembly units to move without much noise. Once this is done, I'll push in this. It goes in very smoothly. One lens assembly with the lens on the outside. There are two individual units. One is the hollow one, this is the other one. I'm not cleaning the lens because obviously I'll be cleaning once I'm fixing it well. Probably you can get an idea how it would sit. Then I take this one and put it here.